Hey guys, again, we're doing a couple of different random things in our, learning from home. Um, I've tried to look at different ways that I can record this, and so far this is the best. But when I do start actually chopping things and preparing things, you're going to see my head getting somewhat cut off. Um, but it's unfortunately a little bit necessary. Um, so what we're going to be having a look at today is another one of our just general skills that it's good for us to know. Um, I'm going to be preparing some chicken breast for me to eat. I'm going to show you the way that I like to prepare it, the way that I find it's the easiest way to prepare. So with chicken, it's one of those foods where we can do a whole bunch of things with it. Um, we can, sort of cook it whole. You can make a chicken parmesan. You can crumb it. You can do a whole range of things with it. Um, one of the things about chicken though, I get a little bit worried because if you don't cook chicken well enough, it can um, it can have certain things in there that make you a little bit sick. So we're gonna have a look at how I prepare the chicken even before I cook it. It's what I do, and I might be 100% wrong. I might My way might be different to the way that you like to do it, or even different to the way your parents like to do it. They might watch this and think that's just silly. But this is just my way, so let's have a look. So first up, I'm going to open up the chicken. It's important that you defrost your meat before you start cooking it because it makes it a lot harder to cook when it's frozen. What can happen when it's frozen is that it'll sort of cook very well on the outside, but the inside will stay really cold or just not cook well enough. So first, I should have done this before. It's always important to remove any type of jewelry or anything that you're wearing. I've already washed my hands, so I'm ready to go. And I'm going to reach in and pull out my chicken. So when we're having a look at our chicken, and as I look at this, it's not 100% perfectly defrosted. There's still little bits that are a little bit, not frozen, but a little firm. What I like to do when I cook my chicken, some people might say that it's fine to cook it like this. I like to cut off the bits that look a bit fatty or the bits that look a bit gross. Again, this is my way. Your parents might say that, that's fine or whatever, but remember, when we're cutting, it's always better to cut away from us rather than towards us. One thing that might even make it easier is rather than working on it as a whole piece, we can cut it up into smaller bits to work from there. So as I cut this bit in half, I'm going to put one half to the side and we're going to work through. So when I'm talking about the fatty bits, can you see it? So what I cut off is just this white part here along the chicken. There isn't a lot of it. I tend to cut off a bit of meat, like that's a good meat, while I do that because it's just there. But again, for me, I'm cooking enough food for me, probably enough for more than just one day. Now there I've got all of the fat part off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into smaller pieces. So it's being cut into strips just there. And the really big strips I'm cutting in half. And from there I'm going to put all of my chicken pieces into a separate bowl. I'm going to be putting the little off-cut bits, the bits that I don't want, into the container that I got the chicken from. And then here we're back into cutting it into smaller, more manageable bits. So with me being a little bit concerned with cooking chicken, cutting it into smaller bits means that it'll cook a little bit quicker. I can see better when it's cooked. And it's just a little bit more manageable than a whole piece. When you're cooking any type of meat in a whole piece, you tend to have to, while it's cooking, cut it in half to check on it. This is just a different way where I'm cutting it into pieces, and I'm going to be measuring sort of how well each piece then needs to be diced and cut. I can probably cut those into a bit smaller pieces. Now, some people might have better or quicker ways to do this. I don't, I'm not the best cook. But being not the best cook means that I need to find ways that work for me. Ways where I can make meals that are tasty and easy to prepare, and somewhat quick. I'm sure there's many of you at home that are much better than me. I'm just going to chuck this whole piece because I don't need it. But that's our first step. Now, I'm going to not use this knife and this chopping board for anything else because I've already had raw chicken on it. So if I use it for something else, if I put cooked chicken on it, then I might be bringing the germs or the disease or anything that's inside it, and I'm cross-contaminating. I'm putting it into the stuff that I've already prepared. So I'm going to take this straight to the sink. I'm even going to go and wash my hands because my hands have cooked chicken, raw chicken on them. So bear with me while I come across. I'm going to be using soap to wash my hands. Now, when we're looking at adding something to this chicken, something to make it, taste a bit nicer. So I'm going to put this chicken as well, just to the side so that it's ready to go into the rubbish. Sorry, when we're talking about putting something into the chicken to make it a bit tastier, everyone might have their own thing. What I like to do is I like to put my chicken in a little bit of garlic. I don't know about you guys, but I love garlic. So I'm going to grab my already pre-minced, crushed whatever, garlic from the fridge. Now I've got my garlic here that I was too lazy to crush myself, so I got it from the shops. And I've got all my chicken in this bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the garlic straight into the bowl with the chicken. Because I love the taste of garlic, I'm going to probably put a bit more than I need, just to add some extra flavor. And then from there, I'm just going to mix it all together. Mix the chicken so that all of the different bits of chicken end up covered in garlic. So there's my chicken covered in garlic. What a lot of people will do, sorry, trying to get my head into the frame for you guys. What a lot of people will do is they'll let this sit for a long time. Sometimes people will let it sit for a couple of hours. Sometimes people will even marinate their food before they freeze it so that it's sitting in the freezer, taking in all of the different flavors of whatever marinade you've put in it. If you go to the shops, they've got different flavors, like different types of marinade. I just like garlic. I think it's nice and easy. Now, our next step from here is, I'm just going to put it into a fry pan. I'm going to pause the video here. There's going to be a short bit of a break in between. You know what? Let's just go all in one go. Okay. Bear with me a little bit, guys. I thought I did originally plan to pause the video and move everything, but I've just made the decision not to. Okay, so we're coming over to my oven, and it's a bit difficult to see, so that's the best view I can give you. Here's my fry pan. I'm going to be putting it onto my cooktop. It's nice and clean and ready to go. I'm not just going to cook straight on my fry pan, even though they say that it's non-stick and you should be fine. I always like to use something to grease my fry pan. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to get my olive oil. I've got my olive oil in this little sprayer thing, and I'm just going to grease the pan. Anyway, that's enough. If you don't have a little spray thing, you can just get olive oil from the bottle and put it around, but we don't need any more than that right now. So I've got our thing. They say that it's always better to warm up your fry pan before you put the meat on there. If I'm being really honest with you, I don't know why. I just know that people that are better at this than I am say to do it. So I'm just gonna, go with what they say and assume it's the better way to do it. I can feel that this is heating up really fast. I can smell the olive oil starting to warm up, and I can feel the heat coming through. So I'm gonna drop the heat just a little bit, and I'm gonna start adding my chicken. Different people like to cook with different things. Because I'm not the best cook, I always use tongs. It's what I've always used when I cook the barbecue, and it's what I feel a bit safer with. So I'm going to put my chicken in, and I'm going to try and spread it out so that no chicken piece is on top of any other chicken piece. It's all sort of has its own space on the fry pan. Um, I might stop the video here just so that my house doesn't fill up with the smell of the chicken garlic, and I can turn on my range hood. What that does is it sucks the air up so that the cooking air doesn't smell up the whole house. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to pause it. I'm guessing that's a little bit loud on the phone. There's no real way for me to test it, so I'm going to pause the video here and we're going to come back when the cooking's all done. So we're back. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would. It's hard to get my head back into the frame. I'm going to slump all the way down so that I can kind of fit in. Now, the reason why I cut the chicken into really small bits was so that while it was cooking, it would cook a bit quicker, and I could also then cut every bit in the middle to see if it was white all the way through, if there were still pink bits. So again, when we cover something in sauce, the sauce tends to burn or blacken very quickly. But it being chicken, I also get a little bit paranoid, so I tend to cook my chicken a little bit more and even risk burning it a little bit, just even if it dries it out a bit. So here's my chicken all done into small bits. For this to be a really good balanced meal, there should really be some vegetables on the sides. I've just done a side of chips because I'm lazy. And I've also got my garlic dipping sauce just on the side. Now, how I like to eat food like this, I like to use Lebanese bread, rip bits of the bread off, grab what I'm eating, dip it in the garlic, and eat it that way. In any case, this was a nice, easy meal, not too expensive, something that if you lived on your own, if you were trying to cook something for a lot of people, you could do this and some other meals on the side. In any case, it's a nice, quick, easy meal. So, if you're going to try this at home, let me know how it goes. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.